Architects are creative professionals who design buildings and spaces that meet the needs of their clients and the people who will use them. They use their technical knowledge and artistic skills to balance functionality, safety, and aesthetics in their designs. Architects work closely with clients and builders to ensure that their visions become a reality. Their work ranges from designing individual homes to large public buildings and urban landscapes. As the inventor of alternating current technology, Nikola Tesla played a paramount role in the electricity used to power the entire world. Tesla also worked diligently on a dream of supplying electrical power without wires. Thomas Edison was also instrumental in shaping society today with his inventions. Edison's design of the inside of the light bulb was the crucial key to making a light that would stay lit for hours instead of going out almost immediately. The city was alive with energy and excitement as people rushed by in a blur of motion. Cars honked their horns, and the chatter of voices filled the air. I walked down the busy street, taking in the sights and sounds of the bustling metropolis. It was a sensory overload, but I couldn't help but feel energized by the energy of the city.
Legal writing is usually less discursive than writing in other humanities subjects, and precision is more important than variety. Sentence structure should not be too complex. It is usually unnecessary to make extensive use of adjectives or adverbs, and consistency of terms is often required.
Just as the world's fifth largest economy emerges from the COVID-19 pandemic, the post-Brexit shortage of truck drivers, and a spike in European Natural gas prices has left the UK grappling with the grim prospect of a potential food supply crunch and soaring energy bills.
Australian scientists say they have developed pain-free blood sugar testing for diabetics, a non-invasive strip that checks glucose levels via saliva for diabetics. Managing their blood sugar levels typically means pricking their fingers multiple times a day with a lancet and then placing a drop of blood on a testing strip.
There are many reasons why water tastes stale when it is kept for a long time. Microorganisms play a big role in this phenomenon. When they grow, they release chemicals into the water from their metabolic activity. This evaporates over time, so the absence of it from water left out for a long period brings about a change in taste.
Tests of a drug known to stimulate brain activity have shown early success in reducing symptoms of sluggish cognitive tempo in 38 men and women with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It also significantly corrected deficits in executive brain function, with fewer episodes of procrastination.
New research identifies a process that might have been key in producing the first organic molecules on Earth about 4 billion years ago, before the origin of life. The process, which is similar to what might have occurred in some ancient underwater hydrothermal vents, may also have relevance to the search for life elsewhere in the universe.
A total of 5 ozone ascents were taken at Bharati Station, Indian Mission, Antarctica during April to June 2016. As the stratospheric temperatures reduced to -82.24 C on June 20, 2016, indicating the formation of stratospheric clouds which may lead to depletion of the ozone concentration in the stratosphere, leading scientists at Bharati Station
The audio, which includes more than 1,000 separate data files, was captured in the early 1970s by the late Hetty van de Ridgt. She recorded the various screams, barks, and howl calls made by a group of chimps, including 17 youngsters, living in the Gom National Park in Tanzania.
Sleep behavior is also known as a sleep disorder. People with sleep disorder often talk or walk in their sleep. They are not aware of what they are talking about or where are they going. There isn't any serious effects on the body in general, but it may be connected to mental health.
Humans need to use energy in order to exist. So, it is unsurprising that the way people have been producing energy is largely responsible for current environmental problems. Pollution comes in many forms, but those that are most concerning, because of their impact on health, result from the combustion of fuels in power stations and cars.
In the photo, the wildcat's huge paws are clamped onto the side of the white safari jeep in which Chapel was a passenger. Almost as tall as the jeep on her hind legs, she appears to be forcing the muzzle into the back window.
Usually, age is determined by physical characteristics, such as teeth or bones. Great if you have a body. Researchers have tried unsuccessfully to use blood. But in this study, the scientists used immune cells called T cells. T cells recognize invaders through receptors that match molecules on bacteria, viruses, even tumors. The cellular activity that produces these receptors also produces a type of circular DNA molecule as a byproduct. As the inventor of alternating current technology, Nikola Tesla played a paramount role in the electricity used to power the entire world. Tesla also worked diligently on a dream of supplying electrical power without wires. Thomas Edison was also instrumental in shaping society today with his inventions. In every cultivated language, there are two great classes of words which, taken together, comprise the whole vocabulary. First, there are those words with which we become acquainted in daily conversation, which we learn from the members of our own family and from our familiar associates, and which we should know and use even if we could not read or write.
There are as many diets as there are cultures in the world. One of the famous is the Mediterranean diet. Multiple research experts projects have concluded that this diet is one of the most healthy in the world in terms of forbidding illnesses and enhancing life expectancy. Well, you never know something until you try it.
It's hard to be modest when you live in the Milky Way. Our galaxy is brighter and more massive than most other galaxies. From end to end, the disk-shaped Milky Way spans 120,000 light-years. Encircling it is another disk, composed mostly of hydrogen gas. And enclosing that is an enormous halo of dark matter.
The preparation of abstracts is an intellectual effort, requiring general familiarity with the subject. To bring out the salient points of an author's argument calls for skill and experience. Consequently, a considerable amount of qualified manpower that could be used to advantage in other ways must be diverted to the task of facilitating access to information. Along with customary classes on subjects such as finance, accounting, and marketing, today's MBA students are enrolling on courses for environmental policy and stewardship. Indeed, more than half of business schools require a course in environmental sustainability or corporate social responsibility, according to a survey of 91 U.S. business schools, published in October 2005.
Each tube-shaped microbot is a sandwich of three materials. A graphene outer layer, which binds to heavy metals. A middle layer of nickel, which gives the bots magnetic polarity, so they can be pulled through wastewater with magnets. And platinum inside for propulsion. Just add a bit of peroxide to the wastewater, and it'll react with the platinum to form water and oxygen bubbles, which can propel the tubes along.
Certain types of methodologies are more suitable for some research projects than others. For example, the use of questionnaires and surveys is more suitable for quantitative research, whereas interviews and focus groups are more often used for qualitative research purposes.
The proponents of green alternative technology believe that the governments and local authorities should enforce the use of public transport in the cities. As the traffic in the cities rising, it is putting more pressure and magnifying the problem of space, parking, and air pollution. In the central town of Australian cities, the parking is so expensive that it can cost more than monthly wages of a worker in Africa. The psychology department of the University of Berkshire is well known for its diverse range of career opportunities. It was renowned for the best teaching staff, library, and affordable fee structure for the degree aspirants. The most pioneers of the case studies in the Justice and Peace Department are the ex-students of this department. The reputation is well maintained and hoping to keep so in the future.
In a genuine republic, the will of the government is dependent on the will of the society, and the will of the society is dependent on the reason of the society. In Federalist 51, for example, James Madison claimed that the extent and structure of the government of the United States make it dependent on the will of the society. Historically, what has been used to estimate bats has been photographic estimates, visual estimates, mark recapture estimates, and those have been highly prone to bias. Newer technology, like thermal imaging cameras, is accurate, but expensive. So at a time of epic bat mortality due to, for example, the fungal white nose syndrome that's wiping out bats in Canada and the U.S.
Permafrost is a layer of permanently frozen soil that exists in the coldest regions of the world, such as the Arctic and Antarctic. It can extend for hundreds of meters below the surface and is composed of frozen water, rock, and soil. Permafrost is a critical component of the global climate system as it stores vast amounts of carbon and other greenhouse gases.
The first rays of dawn peeked over the horizon, casting a golden glow across the dewy grass. The world was still asleep, quiet except for the distant chirping of birds. As the sun rose higher, the sky turned from a soft pink to a deep blue, and the air filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. The promise of a new day filled the earth, and anything was possible. Conservation scientists have long tried to map how much of the planet remains undegraded by human activity. Previous estimates using satellite imagery or raw demographic data found anywhere from 20 to 40% of the globe was free from obvious human incursions, such as roads, light pollution, or the gaping scars of deforestation.
These decisions are highly nuanced. Of course, we use a lot of data to inform our decisions, but we also rely very heavily on iteration, research, testing, intuition, and human empathy. Now, sometimes the designers who work on these products are called data-driven, which is a term that totally drives us bonkers.
Artificial neural networks have recently become the state-of-the-art technique for crucial signal processing applications such as specific frequencies classification, structural health monitoring, diseases detection in power electronic circuitry, and motor fault detection.
Biology is the natural science that studies life and living organisms, including their physical structure, chemical processes, physiological mechanisms, and evolution. Certain unifying concepts consolidated into a single and coherent field that recognizes genes as the basic unit of heredity, and evolution as the engine that propels creation and extinction.
Social media are playing an increasingly important role as information sources for travelers. The goal of this study is to investigate the extent to which social media appear in search engine results in the context of travel-related searches. It also provides evidence for challenges faced by traditional providers of travel-related information.
Long isolated from Western Europe, Russia grew up without participating in the development like the Reformation that many Russians takings pride in. Their unique culture find dubious value. Russia is, as a result, the most unusual member of the European family, if indeed it is European at all.
For any marketing course that requires the development of a marketing plan, such as marketing management, marketing strategy, and segmentation, support marketing, this is the only planning handbook that guides students through the step-by-step creation of a customized marketing plan while offering commercial software to aid in the process.
Blue is the most popular color. Food researchers disagree. When humans searched for food, they learned to avoid toxic or spoiled objects, which were often blue, black, or purple. When food died, blue is served to study subjects. They lose appetite.
Surprisingly, despite what appear to be infinite variations, all difficult conversations share a common structure. When you're caught up in the details and anxiety of a particular difficult conversation, this structure is hard to see. But understanding that structure is essential to improve how you handle your most challenging conversations.
Regular exercise releases brain chemicals key for memory, concentration, and mental sharpness at the same time as lifting your mood and lowering stress and anxiety, all of which contribute to brain health.
Our central aim is to enable you to develop knowledge and attitudes and skills that are conducive to constructive involvement, cooperation, and teamwork with others and will serve you well in future endeavors. To succeed, the process demands all of us a serious exercise in civic responsibility.
Since our graduate admission school is not centralized, each of the university's 6 schools and colleges admits students to its own programs. For information about specific program degrees, graduate applications, graduate admission requirements and procedures.
The findings of modern research support the view that the evolution of primitive men and its culture should be regarded as unity. Yet this unity is exceedingly complex, and future research will doubtless enable us to make finer distinctions between the periods that people composed it.
The wonderful framework of mature trees creates a secluded implants atmosphere that unites a great variety of plantings to inspire visitors in all seasons. Spring in the garden is marked by leafing up and flowering of trees and the eruption of the flowers in the bulb meadows and woodland understory.
There were 2 types of soldier in the Roman army,
the Roman legionary and the auxiliaries. The legionaries were the very best soldiers and the auxiliaries were actually non-Roman citizens. Legionaries wore an undershirt made of linen and a woolen tunic. The linen helped the soldiers to stay cool while the wool helped to trap heat, keeping the soldiers warm.
In order to achieve the free flow of goods and services, with work and capital between the member countries, they needed to establish mutual politics in areas as diverse as agriculture, transport, and when they concerned with a far wider range of issues. Scholars build their own personal libraries to support not only particular projects but also general reading in their field. They buy or make photocopies of materials when possible, so they can consult them frequently, mark pages and write annotation on them.
Behavioral and social sciences research helps predict, prevent, and manage illness, in individuals and in whole populations. This research also helps people change their behaviors, understand treatments, and learn how to stick with them. Society's role is significant, too. Access to healthcare affects decision-making and behavior.
Our information office on campus provided resource and support to help you make the right choices about childcare, whether you're a student, staff, or member of the local community. The office provides information about the 5 centers closest to our campuses, relevant government agency, and other daycare center in the surrounding areas.
Perhaps the most measurable benefit of the program has been the opportunity to meet in small groups. Something that is difficult to arrange such a desperate organization. Many officers would have to work together for 30 years but would not know others' strengths and weaknesses.
Exhilarating, exhausting, and intense. There are just some of the words used to describe doing an MBA. Everyone's experience of doing an MBA is, of course, different through denying that it's hard and a demanding work whichever course you do.
How quickly is the world's population growing? In the United States and other developed countries, the current growth rate is very low. In most developing countries, the human population is growing at a rate of 3 people per second. Because of this bustling growth rate, the human population is well on its way to reaching 9 billion within a lifetime.
Teenage girls are continuing to outperform boys in English while the gender gap in achievements in math and science has almost disappeared. The figures show that last year 80% of 14-year-old girls reached at least the expected level 5 in English, compared with 65% of boys. But in math, the girls are just 1% ahead of boys, while in science the difference is 2%.
Certainly, one of the most important values of literature is that it nourishes our emotional lives. An effective literary work may seem to speak directly to us, especially if we are ripe for it. The inner life that good writers reveal in their characters often gives us glimpses of some portion of ourselves.
Introvert tends to recharge by spending time alone. They lose energy from being around people for a long period of time, particularly large crowds. Extroverts, on the other hand, gain energy from other people. Extroverts actually find their energy is sapped when they spend too much time alone. They recharge by being social.
Although Botswana's economic outlook remains strong, the devastation that AIDS has caused threatens to destroy the country's future. In 2001, Botswana had the highest rate of HIV infection in the world. With the help of international donors, it launched an ambitious national campaign that provided free antiviral drugs to anyone who needed them, and by March 2004, Botswana's infection rate had dropped significantly.
Along with all that they have in common, infants also show unique individual traits. Some are more active than others, some are more sociable, and some are more interested in the world around them. Infants earlier on show consistent differences in friendliness and anxiety level, which form part of their early character.
The information session is a 45-minute presentation conducted by an admission representative. Immediately following this session is a 90-minute walking tour of the campus led by a student ambassador. Walking tours of the campus generally include classroom buildings, a residence hall room, a dining hall, the library, athletic facilities, performing art facilities, and the student union.
In medicine, the application of information technology means the digitalization of medical records and the establishment of an intelligent network for sharing those records. Other benefits flow from these technological changes.